Okay, so just for the sake of tracking, we're going to say this is day 8, although it's not 8 days in a row because I just finished my cycle and I couldn't do the meditation during my cycle. But I'm not going to count consecutive days, even though I'm going to try to do it every day as much as I can. And in a Kundalini practice, they say that it has to be 40 days in a row. And if you miss a day, you start over from day 1. But for many years, I did that, and I don't like the anxiety and pressure that it puts on people and in your psyche when you're trying to track something like that. I think just do it every day. That's it. That's the practice I try to subscribe to now. If you miss a day, just do it the next day and just keep doing it. And it's nice to know how long you're doing it for, but don't be rigid about it, okay? Because the minute you do that, you're missing the whole purpose of it. And, you know, for many years now, probably since I've had kids, since my kids have been toddlers, I would say, it's been really hard for me to get my like tunnel vision and focus back. So I really haven't had like a consecutive every single day, like rigid practice for many years. It's been kind of fluid. Like if I can do it, I do it. I try to do it every day. But some days I miss, and that's okay. And that has really helped me to get rid of the rigidity around and being so hard on yourself and knowing that you're not perfect and life happens. So we're going to say this day 8. So I just did for the first time 2.5 hours. Yeah, it was a lot. It was long, but honestly, it went by pretty quickly. So since I'm kind of jumping in right after my cycle, it's kind of sometimes hard to kind of get into it again. So I went in thinking, I'm just going to do an hour today, and maybe I'll do an hour later. So the first 30 minutes were difficult. After I got past the 30, I was like kind of loving it again, because it's very like almost like a internal cleanse, internal massage that you do for yourself. I actually like doing it. It's only kind of when my leg starts to hurt that it starts to bother me, but that didn't happen until probably close to 2 hours today. So after I was past the first 30 minutes, then it got easier and I was kind of in it. So, you know, the first 30 minutes, there was like a lot of ego there that I could feel kind of just trying to make me stop. And I just kind of kept ignoring it. And I was like, you know what, just keep going, just keep going. That's what I kept telling myself. So after the first hour, I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to I think I can get to an hour and a half today. So I was like, you know what, I pushed through, and then I was like, you know what, I think I can do 2 hours. So I stuck it out. 2 hours, my legs started to hurt, so it kind of got a little difficult, and I was like, fuck it. If I'm here for 2 hours already, I can do 2.5. And I've never done 2.5. So yeah, I pushed through and I got there. Into the second hour, it started to change. It became a little more solid. That's the only way I can describe it. My arms felt really heavy sitting here, and very like tingly, but like static almost, but like a heavy static. That's the only way I can describe it. And to bring my hand up further, because I use my hands. I don't have mastery over the doing one nostril without hands. Not there yet. So it was like heavy to bring up my arms. You know, I was doing this for 2.5 hours. So it felt pretty heavy. What else? A lot of pressure and heat at the back of my heart. And I remember doing this in teacher training. We were doing a half an hour. And I remember when I first started doing this, it was interesting that I had this visualization of, I would feel it at the back of my heart. And my visualization of that sensation was, oh, there's wings starting to come out. And I was in my teacher training, and I remember we were doing 31 minutes of it. Most people haven't done it, but I already had it as a practice at that point. And again, this was in 2000, maybe 2012. Yeah. And I remember my teacher saying, and now the angel wings come out. And that was my exact visualization. And I haven't had that experience since back then until right now when I got to 2.5 hours. I started feeling that again. So, yeah, just transitioning and yeah, it was just interesting. I feel very clear right now. Afterwards, I sat quietly in my just a quiet meditation, and there was literally like no noise, nothing. So I used that moment to pray and to really just close my eyes and see what was being told to me. And there was a lot of colors, and I was asking for more guidance. And I was, how I pray is usually in that space after, but I always say, angels and guides of the highest love and compassion, give me a sign that you're with me, guide me, protect me. Let me hear you, let me see you. And I was at a point at one time in my life where I was doing this meditation, and I actually was able to hear voices. And it kind of scared me, and I told them to leave me alone. So I haven't heard them in a really long time, but I wasn't ready then, to be honest with you. And honestly, if you tell people that, they think you're like schizophrenic or something, but it's not it at all. It's real. So I know the sensation of what happens energetically when it shifts and you're like tuning into that channel. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like an opening that happens, and it's like you hit the channel, and that's where you can kind of communicate. It's just literally just like this space that's around your head. For me, it's not a communication inside my head. It's outside my head, like a voice, and I can hear it. It's like something opens almost, and you can hear. So I've been asking for that channel again since it kind of went away a long time ago. But today I asked again, and I couldn't feel the opening like I did, but I heard when I asked them to speak to me and give me a sign, I heard a ringing. So that's my sign from them. And then the colors were very, very bright indigo when I closed my eyes. So, but it was very clear, like there was no other messages coming in. It was like very obviously from my guides and whatnot that were coming in to communicate with me, because I'm asking for communication. So that's it. I'll let you know tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna have a lot of time to do 2.5 hours like this straight every day, but it was interesting. I'm happy I actually did it. And one realization that I had while I was doing this was, it's really amazing how life works out, because, my schedule gives me the ability to do this. I do have a full-time job still, but I work off hours. So it's like, I have the ability to work on my own business during the day, and that's what I do. And my kids aren't home, so I'm not distracted. And I have the ability to be here and sit down and do a 2.5 hour meditation, and then kind of do my work through my own business stuff that I feel for that day. So, nothing is a coincidence. And, I know that, but, I've been prepping so long to do this, and it's been an internal fight for me. whether I'm ready to take that step towards being more of a master at my craft. And it's been an internal struggle for me of whether I want to do it or not. And I finally, everything in my life right now is set for me to be able to push myself there. And I've been wanting to do it. And the ego comes in and kind of blocks you and whatever. And it's just you. Are you ready to do it? Are you ready to take that step? Are you ready to kind of let go some of the things that are not serving you anymore to serve a higher purpose? And so that's why I'm doing this. And that's also what I'm sharing, because I want people to know that it can be done. Self-mastery can be done. And, there's no coincidences in your life. Just be very conscious of what your life has given you, and the openings that it's given you. So that's where I am right now. Happy to share more. Have a good day.